I just remembered this story, so I thought that I would tell it on here, and it's the scariest experience that I've ever had with a man in my entire life. So, I want to say this was like 3 years ago, maybe. I'm 19 now. I was 16 then. And I had to run to Dollar Tree for something. I forget what. I was just going by myself. So, I drive there. I'm walking around. I turn around. I see this man looking at me. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit weird, but like nothing too deep. And then I go into the next aisle, and now he's looking at me and he's smiling. Not that kind of smile. I mean a full, like something out of Smile, the movie. Like, full teeth, wide eyes, not flinching when I turn around and look at him looking at me. Now I'm scared shatless, right? I'm like, that's not normal. So I go the next aisle over, and what does this man do? Follows me. Not like follows this way, but like he's tracking me on the other side of the aisle. Now I'm like, this is not my imagination, right? And mind you, like I said, this whole time he's staring at me, teeth out, like. Now, like I said, I'm 16. This man looked like he was in his mid-40s. I literally run, and he runs parallel to me. Now, I'm about to cry. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to, like, call somebody. I think I was just too scared. And, like I said, this happened 3 years ago, and I still think about this today. So, I, like, run parallel, right? And I see this, like, group of ladies in the store, probably, like, 2 or 3 of them. And I walk down the aisle where they are. And now, at this point, I don't know where he is. I can't find him. I walk down the aisle where they are. They're, like, having an argument. This man walks on the other side. So now the ladies are the only thing that's between us. Not breaking eye contact, right? Now, he's trying to get through this group of ladies to get to me. I don't know. So at this point, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna freak. I run around the group of ladies, like the next aisle over, to the front door. I get just a little bit away, and what do I see? But this man waiting in front of the front door of the Dollar Tree, so I can't get out without going past him. Now, at this point in time, if I was smart, I would have, like, went up to the register and been like, hey, there's a creeper. Can somebody escort me to my car? I was too scared. I was just too ready to get out of there, right? So I just walked up to this man by the door and was like, excuse me. Okay, I gotta go. Opens the door for me. At this point, I'm literally running out to my car. I jump in my car. As I'm opening the door to get my car, I don't know, I decide to turn around. And what do I see? I'm, like, smiling now, but there are, like, tears coming to my eye because it's so, like, I see this man, hand on the glass, smiling at me, other hand waving. He's like this. What? Now, I know some people are going to think, like, oh, it was probably a prank. No, it was not a prank. Something was really, 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 really wrong with this man. It was one of the creepiest and scariest experiences I think I've ever had in my entire life. I'm glad that it happened in broad daylight, because I think that if that happened at night, I would probably... I still hate going to that Dollar Tree. I can think of only one other experience with a guy that was, like, almost at par with that one that was scary, but I think this one still takes the cake. Yeah.
Buenas, and happy Friday. Hold on. Before we continue. Okay. It's scary story time. So this one is by far one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me in my entire life, and I hope it never happens again, and I hope it doesn't ever happen to anybody. So this was about 2010, 2011. I was either 17 or 18, one of the two. And at the time, I was currently working at a Subway. And at this particular Subway, we weren't allowed to wear anything around our neck, like any necklaces or pendants or anything like that. So I grew up wearing something called a scapular, which is this, it's like a necklace almost, but it's like a brown cloth in the front and then a brown cloth in the back. And it's used in Catholicism. But since I wasn't allowed to wear it at work, I would always take it off and tuck it into my bra. On this particular day, I was a closer, by the way, so I would get off late. There was something that just kept telling me to put it on. Put your scapular on. It was just this gut feeling that kept saying, put it on, Melissa. Put it on. I had no idea why, but I said, you know what? I'm going to just put it on. I finished my shift and I was driving home. This was about 1 or 2 in the morning, I would say. And I had to drive down this super dark, abandoned street. I come to this 4-way stop intersection. And obviously, because it's the middle of the night, there are no cars, no anything. And I come to the stop sign, and to my right, there is this really tall figure standing next to the stop sign. It's during October, so I'm like, it's a Halloween decoration, but I just thought that it was weird that it was on the street next to the stop sign. So this thing is abnormally tall, taller than the stop sign, and it's completely dressed in black, like in a black suit. You couldn't see his hands or its hands, whatever it was, because he was wearing gloves. And the head was a freaking ram's head. And I don't know why, I'm just like sitting at this stop sign looking at this thing like, what the fuck is this? When all of a sudden, it lifts up his hand and it just does this. When I saw that thing lift its fucking hand up, I think I broke the damn gas pedal. I was driving like 80 miles per hour on like a 35 or 40 mile per hour street. And at this point, I'm only like 3 minutes away from my house. So I'm literally hauling ass down this street as I'm looking out my window to see where this thing is at. And this thing is running with the car, dude. It's literally like its head is turned looking into my window and it's running with the car. I was so scared. I literally blanked out and like nothing was crossing my mind. Like I couldn't even pray. I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just driving and wanted to get home. So I finally get to the main street, like a block from my house, and there's light now, and I turn back around and this thing is gone. Like I don't see it anymore, but I'm freaking the fuck out. I used to live in a cul-de-sac and I'm turning into the street and there's no parking in the cul-de-sac. So I'm like, what the hell? Now I gotta park on the street and walk my ass to my front door. So I finally park on the street and I'm looking through all my mirrors trying to make sure this thing isn't freaking following me. And I'm about to pee myself from how freaked out I am. And I used to always carry a rosary around the mirror, the rearview mirror of my car. So I grab this rosary and I'm taking it with me as I'm coming out from the car. I close the door from my car and the rosary literally, like, it explodes in my hand. Beads are flying everywhere and I'm just like at this point, I don't even know what to do anymore. So I run my ass a half a block to my house and I finally get to the door and I'm like banging on it. I can't even figure out how the hell to unlock the door. I run into my mom's room and I'm like crying hysterically and she's like, what the hell is wrong? She turns on the light and she's like, what happened? And I'm like telling her what's going on frantically. And she looks at me and she gets up and she's like, well, you're like pale. I finally calmed down after a few minutes and we prayed. My mom and I prayed together. She even woke my sister up to like pray. And then I sat there and I said, something kept telling me to put my scapular on before I left. And my mom was honestly kind of freaking out because she's like, why is this thing like following her? And she told me, if you ever have a gut feeling, just make sure that you put your scapular on. And honestly, I wore it for years and years and years and years and years until I got this little chain for my confirmation. My madrina gave it to me and I never take it off. Thankfully, I never saw this thing again. And I know this sounds fucking crazy. Luckily, the older I get, the less things that I see. But when I was younger, yeah.
Okay, so yesterday I was walking to 7-Eleven and the craziest thing happened to me. I seen this homeless guy and sometimes I feel bad, but I don't do anything because like they're fucking crazy sometimes. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna walk really fast. Like a snail from freaking Monsters Inc. I'm gonna walk really fast so that way like this homeless guy doesn't talk to me. And then he looked right at me. My head was like, oh my god. Please don't come up to me and ask me anything because I'm by myself. I'm a girl and this guy is a homeless man. Like he is a man. He can fuck me up. All I hear out of nowhere was, hey, come here. I heard that and I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna walk faster. And then he was like, you're fucking rude. You're not gonna come over here. And I was like, what happened, sir? Like, I thought he was gonna ask for like maybe food or he's hungry or fucking money. Shit that normal homeless people fucking ask you about. So I'm like, fuck, you know what? I'm just gonna run. And I start booking it. I'm like, running to the 7-Eleven. That way so the homeless guy won't get to me because I'm crossing the street right now. So he's looking right at me. So I run across the street to 7-Eleven and I'm like, okay, I'm safe in here. The homeless guy's not gonna come and get me. The only thing I'm worried about now is getting the fuck out of here. Quick thank you to these 5 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm over here still scared. I'm telling the guy, like the worker there, I was like, can you maybe walk with me out of the building because I'm scared? And he was like, yeah, he walked with me out of the 7-Eleven, but like, homeless guy is still on the street. I have to cross the street. I have to get the fuck over there, and he's still there. So I don't know what to do now. And I see him right there. He's like, let me talk to you for a sec. I'm like, oh no. And I just come up to him, but I just go from far away. I'm far. I'm maybe like this far away from the homeless guy. And I was like, yeah, like, do you need something? And he was like, I had a question for you. I was like, yeah, what do you need? And he was like, what are you doing after? I was like, after what? And he was like, just after. I was like, I don't know. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna make you a deal, okay? I was like, yeah. Like, you see that over there? I was like, see what? He was like, go look over there and find out what it is. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, I guess. I walked over there. It was like a second walk. I just walked to the other side, and all I seen was a fucking pocket. I was like, oh. It was so crazy. I even took a fucking picture of it. Look at your own risk. I don't know. But I seen that, and I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, you can borrow it if you want. Borrow it? Borrow what? That? I got my own. What are you talking about? So I'm over here thinking, I'm like, this old man is fucking crazy. Like, he's over here talking about pocket puss. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is just weird. I end up, like, booking it. And then the old man is like, I thought you were my dog. A boy? You thought I was a boy? And he was like, yeah, you're not a boy? No, I'm not a fucking boy. And he was like, oh, well, maybe you can give it to your boyfriend. What fucking boyfriend? I ended up sprinting. I was like, oh my gosh. Did I just get rejected by a fucking homeless man? I was questioning my life for about an hour. I was like, fuck, do I really look like a man? Like, do I look like a boy or something? Like, was he gay? What the fuck was this guy thinking? So I walked back to my house, not even scared anymore, just questioning life. But it's because, like, the guy thought I was a fucking man. I don't know, guys. Do I really look like a man? Anyways, guys, don't forget to like and follow, or that homeless guy is going to come after you next.
To this day, when somebody gives me a compliment and says that I look like somebody else, I do not trust your ass. But let me tell you why. When I was in like 9th grade, there was this dude at school that kept fucking telling me, oh, you look like Rihanna. I don't even fucking look like Rihanna. Y'all can see that, right? Right? We can see that, right? But I'm gonna tell you why the shit started getting weird. So we had a library that was like upstairs. So you had to walk all the way upstairs to go to the library, right? And on this day, I had to use the bathroom. So I get to the library upstairs, and you have to walk down this dark hall where the lights flickering and they look all creepy and shit. But I really didn't give a fuck because I really had to pee this day. So I go into the bathroom, right? I'm by myself the whole time, but I had on this was back when everybody used to wear them little Dre beats. So I had my headphones on, but for some reason when I was in the bathroom, I felt like something was up. Like, I felt like something was very fucking strange. So I pulled my fucking headphones off the first time, and I was thinking to myself, like, I looked up, I looked down, I looked all the fuck around. Like, I'm like, something's not right. So I put my headphones back on. I finished using the bathroom, and as I'm coming out the fucking stall, I just see a fucking eye peering on the side of the fucking door. Like, literally, like, it's like the door was closed, but this is all you could fucking see. Bro, when I tell you that shit shook the fuck out of me so fucking bad, I was like, what the fuck? So I walk up to the fucking counter and I put some soap on my hand to quickly wash my hands and grab a paper towel. When I grab the paper towel, he comes out of the stall and was standing behind me like this, like, just with a straight face. Like, bro, I ran all the way the fuck out that bathroom, and bitch, I ran all the way to the administrator office. Like, what the fuck? And then, like, after I told the principal he did that shit, I swear to God, I never seen that dude again. Like, never. Like, not even in the hallway.
I had a man start stalking me after delivering furniture to my home. And even after working for the coroner for 3 years, I never would have thought something like this would have happened to me. So I wanted to give you a few things that maybe could potentially help keep you safe or keep you out of the same situation as me. Number one is I removed pictures of the layout of my home and images of my home as much as I could off the internet. Initially, I contacted my real estate agent, asked that she reach out to the listing agent to see if they could remove all the photos of the inside of my home and the layout of my home. She said legally they did not have to do that in the state of California. So I went around and emailed the listing agent myself, and she had the ability to take down all of the layout photos of my home off the MLS, and then I went in and went to Zillow, Redfin, and all the major sites and removed the photos myself, on top of contacting Google Maps and Apple Maps to blur the outside of my home. It's so important that someone does not know how to maneuver around your home by looking on the internet. Anybody listening, please take the necessary steps to take the layout of your home off of the internet. Number two, I am not super warm, outgoing, and friendly with people coming to do deliveries or maintenance or work on my home, and I always have somebody else there with me. The first time that the man came to my home, I was with my mother because I had just had brain surgery and was wearing sunglasses and sweats and had a 6-month-old baby. The second time he came to my home, I was alone because my husband wasn't home. As a woman, regardless of whether you feel comfortable or not, have somebody else with you in the home if someone's doing maintenance on your home or fixing something or delivering something. And never tell people as a woman that you are single living alone. And to add to that, I do not let people know when I am vacationing in real time. Last but not least, number three, remember that anyone that comes into your home to do work, to visit, etc., is learning the layout of your home. This all was before I had open accounts, so things are much different now. I really hope this prevents someone else from being in the same scenario, and just in general adds an extra layer of precaution to anyone accessing information about your home. And as a disclaimer, not everyone is a bad person and going to do ill will, but regardless, I don't think we really can be cautious enough when it comes to protecting our families, our children, and ourselves. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I can't even wrap my head around what this could have been. All right, so this story comes from a man. We're going to call him Jordan. He was a student at App State, North Carolina. That stands for Appalachian State, by the way. Yep, it's another Appalachia story. So Jordan had been at App State since the fall of 2023. He was transferred from a local community college to save money. The first semester, he barely had time for a job, and he needed the money, so his friends suggested maybe he look into doing DoorDash. And that idea sounded great to Jordan. It was quick, easy cash, flexible schedule. So for the last couple months of the semester, he made really good money doing that. And when winter set in, the pay got even better, but he soon found out why. So side note, he's originally from the eastern side of North Carolina, near the coast, so he doesn't have a lot of experience with winter weather. Definitely not a lot of experience with real snow. Like where he's from, half an inch scares everybody and freaks everyone out. Here at App State, there might be 7 inches and nobody blinks an eye. So one night in January, a huge snowstorm began to roll in, and he was smack in the middle of his DoorDash runs. So when this call came in, Jordan really needed the money, and without really thinking it through, he took it. This happened to be all the way out in Todd. For those of you that don't know the area, Todd sits to the north side of Boone, which is a beautiful countryside, but horrible back roads. By the time he accepted the delivery, the snow had already begun, and it just continued to get worse. But he kept pressing on. He figured, I'm almost there, I might as well finish it up. But this is where things got really weird. So he's following the GPS, and it took 10 extra minutes just to navigate the dark in the snow. It was just all around a really bad situation to begin with. His guard was up. He had a really weird feeling, a sinking feeling in his chest. The neighborhood felt rough. Things just felt off. It's that intuition creeping in, because listen to this. So he approaches the property and he sees that the man he was delivering to is standing outside in the yard under a street post. So he pulls up and stops. The man approaches and he hands the food out to the man, and they lock eyes. Jordan said that something in the way this man looked at him, something in just that whole vibe, made him feel so unsettled. He didn't know what it was or why it felt off, but he knew he did not want to find out anymore. And so the man just says thank you politely, and then Jordan keeps going straight. So instead of turning around in the driveway, he just wanted to get out of there, so he just kept going down the road. And that decision is where the real trouble started. So now the road is sloping downwards, and he was hoping it would lead down into town, but instead it turned into this really narrow gravel road, which was covered in snow and ice. So he hits the brakes, tries to reverse. Now he is sliding. He manages to get the truck stopped, and then he begins to do a 6-point turn to turn it around. He's driving an F-250, which did not make it any easier to get around. But guys, right as he was finishing making his turnaround, he saw something in his peripheral vision. So a wave of unease washes over his body as he looks out in the direction of the snowy, dark woods. And now there's nothing there. He can't see what he thought he saw in his peripheral. So he continues driving. Then he hears a loud yell coming from outside, cutting through the snow and the wind, and he looks again and sees there was a head peeking out from behind one of the trees in the darkness. But he's squinting and he's trying to focus in, and then he realizes something. Peeking out from behind the tree was that man he had just delivered the food to. And now he's out down into the woods, and then this man started to sprint directly to Jordan's truck. So Jordan panicked, and he is slamming his foot down on the gas with his 4-wheel drive engaged. But it just got worse, because when Jordan looked back at this man again, he saw something so horrifying and confusing, he still doesn't have an explanation for it. The man charging at him, his body was completely malformed. Nothing like the person he had just earlier handed the food to. Jordan describes it as looking like a distorted creature, like something out of the movie The Thing. Its limbs and shape was completely distorted and twisted in a way that the human body should not be able to bend. So Jordan is freaking terrified. His tires are spinning out. He's fishtailing it, and he can't take his eyes off of whatever this creature is running at him. But finally, the tires catch, and he books it out of there. And I don't even know how he managed to navigate without crashing in the snow and ice, but he did get home and back to his dorm. He even admitted afterward that he wet himself. He was so terrified. I don't even know, like, what even could that be? Like, recognizable enough in the face that it was a man prior, but its body is morphing? Good old freaking Appalachia, I tell ya. All right, y'all. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do we think? And if you have a creepy story of your own of any kind, please share it. If you're interested in checking out Creepy Storytime merch, the LINK is in my bio. And if you are new here, you gotta follow for more Creepy Storytime.